Long time.
All right, we're going to call this city council meeting to order. Welcome everyone, council, staff. Here we go. Oh, much better. Yes, you can hear me. We call this meeting to order on June 24th, 2025. We will have an opening pledge of allegiance by Councilmember Christensen.
Please join me in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father in heaven, we're grateful for this day. We're grateful for the many things that thou hast given us. We're thankful for the opportunity we have to be here together in this meeting with the city. Be able to talk about the things and discuss the action items that we need to discuss at this time. Help us to do what's best for the city and for the residents. We say it in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Lord. And moving on to item number 3, our consent items, approval of the meeting minutes for June 10th, 2025 is presented. Council, you've had the opportunity to look at those. Any changes? Any discussion? Maybe
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes for June 10, 2025 as presented.
I'll second. Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. Item number 4, which is our business items. This is a discussion, possible action to adopt a resolution 25-06, which is amending the budget for fiscal year 2024 to 2025. Now for the time we're going to do it.
All right, so I printed those off and Jack sent them out to you guys, so just to quickly go through it. Talking with the auditor, we didn't have to necessarily line item all the revenue, we could just bulk it into one. So that's why you don't see all the lines. Most of the expenditures are the same from before. If you look on the back, we made some modifications. There's the capital fund project, because it's a fund on its own. Everything under 10- whatever it is, that's the general fund. And so that's where most of everything went to, but if you look at the very bottom, it's the 1090,900. We are suggesting $958,000 $266.74 be transferred to the capital projects. That's what we know of right now with the revenue that we've received. So that's what goes into that fund 40. We did remove the storm sewer, the sewer request. Looking more into that, we had to have specific verbiage on the notice in order to transfer from other funds to the capital projects. So that has been removed because we want to make sure we stay compliant with state code. So we'll do that in our next budget. Jenny, did you want to add anything on that one? Okay. As you can tell, there are some notes, the same notes from before. We're transferring for extra support on the auditors, and we're moving some money from the police benefits to the equipment for the trainer. And some odds and ends just to make sure that everybody's budget is where it needs to be compliant with the state. At the bottom, we're requesting that if you could allow us to, at the end of the budget, if there's any overage or excess of revenue, that you give me permission to have it transferred to one of those 3 or all 3, depending on how much is left. If you would allow us to allocate those.
These draw any interest?
Interest?
Do they draw interest in you? For all of them?
The only revenue that we can't move is because it's restricted. It's our impact fees or beer tax, those things have to be specifically spent for certain things, so those are the only ones that we removed, because we can't move those.
What is this doing for us by doing this?
So we have to have a balanced budget. We can try our best to foresee anything that comes, but unlike, you know, how economy is, sometimes things cost more, so our budget's a little off. So this allows us to balance the budget. We're only able to open it twice a year. We did, was it in October? I wanna say it was in October we did it. And so now we usually do at the very end of the budget to make sure everything's balanced. We project it as much as we can for everything else for the rest of the fiscal year.
So I just have a question, I've heard a few times in the last several meetings that we have, sounds like abundance of funds that we put into the capital project fund. Is that something that we need to have in reserve? Cause I know that we're gonna get questions about earned taxes if we have a lot of money.
Well, some of it is to roll over for projects like public safety building, public works. Sometimes we'll have projects, our parks wants to open their,
Defense.
events. Thank you. So it's to kind of help with those projects. There's those types of projects that can be a lot more than what a normal budget would be.
Gotcha. I just know that it's been called like the rainy day fund, but really it's not. It's allocated funds that we need in reserve for projects. Which I just would like to have that clarified. Thanks, that's it. This kind of projects.
How does this put us in compliance?
So you get the monthly financials. If you notice, every budget at the very end, it'll show if we're over what we budgeted or if we're under. The goal is to have each one be pretty close and not over as a whole. So if a couple of lines are over, but the rest of them we're sitting just fine, that's great. But we don't want too many lines that are over to throw the whole thing over, because then it's emptying on our audit. And it's not good budgeting.
So this gives you the flexibility to correct that as you go.
So for example, we have a little bit more in our benefits for the police. We have to budget so much because if we have 10 employees and all 10 have families that want insurance, it's gotta be there. But if we have 10 employees and only 7 of them want insurance and 2 of them are just single, we're not having as much paid into it, but it's there because we have to have it available if things change. Hopefully that answers that.
So just giving the ability, the consent to have that flexibility, does that need to be part of the motion or just to not? Okay.
The idea, the reason why it's 2 million is I don't think it's ever gonna get past that. But speaking with the auditor, he said it's a good idea to have an exact amount. And what we would allocate it for specifics. That way we're covered.
I agree.
So we can't change it because we only have the 2 times that we can amend the budget.
Any questions, guys? Anyone? I don't do it.
Just one as far as on how everything's coming as far as buttoning and all the dots in the i's as far as when the public works building finishing that up.
Wanna answer that one?
The
So,
last time we talked about it, it was still up in the air because they were still being participles. So I would go.
So the excess revenue line item that you'll be making in the motion will allow us to wrap up the end of the public works building construction project. where we are nearing the very last invoice that we'll be paying out on that project. That transfer will allow us to pay out the remaining balance on that project, and anything that would be continued revenue would go over to the public safety building or other capital projects that we've identified. Or the debt service, which pays the bond payments for bonds that we've issued. So that gives us those three options
I
to use
understand
that
that,
revenue
saying, where are we?
with the public works.
Dollars and
We're,
cents.
we have one more payment to RNO Construction to close out the public works building.
Just curious how much that is.
The total, we can provide that at the next meeting. We don't have those numbers.
Okay, that's all, just wanted to see if you had a number. No one, this and this and this, I'm just saying. Okay.
The total number of the project we can provide to you. We just aren't prepared for that tonight.
Okay, so
Any other questions?
So everything you've got, you're happy with, or in compliance?
Yes.
With, you're avoiding all the deeds and wings that come at us, maybe,
Best that I know of, yes.
okay?
I feel confident, we'll say that.
You're good at this.
The auditor was here yesterday. That was Jill, also the day, Jane was there, so. Hopefully went through everything and explained where we needed to improve, what we could do in the future. Ready to, we have room to improve every year.
we're sitting on solid ground. This is it.
Yep,
But not to say yes.
yes. I learn new things every day, so it's always a learning process, and we wanna make sure we do it right, so we might find something. And that's when we stop, we ask the questions, we fix it, so we can make sure we're staying.
I think that's the key to what's going on in the city right now. I gotta have someone. What are you doing? So compliments to you.
We're getting there.
Jill's done a lot of hard work, as Jenny has, but all the department has how they work hard on their budgets to make sure that they can bring the clients, work hard on what they can do last year, make sure that there's enough money for everything they need to do and have a little extra, so.
I know there's a lot of discussion last year as to having impact capital projects funded. So that we can start putting money into that. I'm excited to see that it's here. 'Cause that's, that does give me some flexibility.
Yep. It's getting on for the projects, when especially when they really need to happen.
Okay, are we ready for a motion? So I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2506, amending the budget for the fiscal year 2024-2025. And allow the budget officer to transfer any excess revenue of up to $2 million to capital projects. For either construction costs or to go towards the public safety building or towards debt services.
Second.
All right, motion and a second, this is a roll call. Councilmember Christensen,
Yes.
Councilmember Fawcett.
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson,
Yes.
Councilmember Williamson,
Yes.
Mayor Weiss.
Yes.
Thank you, motion carries. And item number 5 is public comment. I don't think that's necessary, if I don't buy that. Item number 6 is mayor council follow-up. I'm gonna start with department heads first. Brian, do you have anything?
Yeah, not a lot to follow up on, but we do have the movie in the park this Friday. If you're interested in coming, it'll start around 9 p.m. My backyard games before that, so. A lot going on, really busy, but that's.
But movie is not.
You go, let's just like.
Right.
Yeah, that's like something.
I don't remember what it's called. It's sitting on my desk, it's a good one. It's worth coming to. Friday, Dracula.
Yes.
Yeah.
Son of Chucky.
That's up to that. Anything else, Brian?
Is it black and white?
Okay. Justin.
And I'm sure Jenny will touch on this also, but July 8th, council meeting. Beforehand, we will be having our open house of the public works facility. We have having an open house. That'll start at 5 p.m. live refreshments will be served also.
That's at 5:30.
5,
5.
5 to 6:30, we'll have all the public works guys there. For any public that wants to go take a tour through, they can take.
Opportunity for you to see it, but if you have to see it. Chief.
I don't have any questions since last meeting.
Okay. Hey, Jim.
I just wanted to give, outside of the public open house for the Public Works building, I had mentioned at a previous meeting that we may do a combined work session in July with the planning commission. That's not going to happen with staff schedules. So, and our August is very full, so we're gonna give you a break until September. We'll try and schedule a work session combined with planning commission in September. I just wanted to give you that update, so the only obligation we'll have for council is July 8th.
If I don't have the answer to something, I'll get it. It's light here.
Voice. Matt, you have anything tonight?
Couple things that, did we ever get word, and is this? Did we get word what the verified rate's gonna be?
Yes.
Yes, we did receive our certified tax rate. I can't tell you what it would drop to, but what we're preparing for in August is what it would affect the residents for maintaining our current rate, which is 0.001562. We'll give you some additional options below that rate and tell you what the revenue would be for that and where recommendations on where we're at to make sure we can cover our bond payments. At the highest, the early projections on that, Jill helped me with this because it was just this afternoon, we were talking about this, but at the very highest, it would be a $6.44 per resident for 422
Per year.
per year. That would be the highest that we've advertised. We'll advertise, sorry, that's down correct, right? That's in July.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, having worked on the, Northview Fire Board, I know prior to it, we started lobbying to be able to get our own team paramedic. And looks like that's finally gonna happen after a lot of team pulling, and there's gonna be basically a ceremony there on Tuesday, July 1st at 5 o'clock. Kind of welcome our paramedics program, which has been a long time coming, and it's a big deal,
And the public is invited.
and the public is invited.
Over in North Ogden.
North Ogden, or all, yeah.
Thank you. Over.
I brought in my show and tell earlier before we started. But I'm just curious, we get these things all the time on our doors, they'll be in and out. This one here happens to be eastmanrisk.com. They're hanging on doors everywhere. I don't know if they have a license or is there anything we can do to share information? But you know, I saw all these peppered all over our subdivision area. So is there anything, we don't know if they're in compliance. Nobody's obviously, you don't know if they have a business license, they don't go through Harrisville and all this stuff. So,
I will tell you this, there's no solicitor licenses that have been issued.
okay. So,
Send a few kids back and.
If you have people that find them, as long as you can give me a company name,
yeah,
if you can get a card from them, that's even better.
sure.
So that way I've been known to call the companies. And tell them that they can't even be in the city, going to ignore that. Really helpful.
Don't they have to have it on them?
They have to have it on them. There's a picture ID, so, and our logo, so that way you know that they've been to the city, they have to have it on them visible.
They leave them in their car, but we have.
Yes.
I know you followed up on a couple, sent these out, corners and things, and I have no problem turning that in. I just, you know, we came home tonight and that's there, I happened to glass, there was one down in Paulred's store at the end of 150 by Millcrox's, Pennsylvania. Just, you know, the color is striking, and I'm not, that's fun. So they're going through the whole neighborhood area. Simply what it's where it's been sick, yeah, summertime.
Yeah.
And it seems to be the time where everybody wants to go knocking.
Okay, thank you. Leave that with Jim.
Yeah.
Karen? I have not had anything. Okay, thank you. Larry? Steve? And Max told you all about Matthew, so I expect to see any movement. I mean, I will be there. You can be there if you like. I invite you to be there. I think it's something we have to go from there as we kind of unified effort, met with Chief Maxwell, went to the commission, met with them. This is Chief Maxwell's project that he came through, so I think it's really important that we have surveys here because I think it's not understood that we haven't had access. Yeah, so
What was that date, sorry?
it's next Tuesday.
July first.
Is it next? Yes, we're almost there. My first was Tuesday. Yeah. All right, well, if that's it, I have a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.